Ever thought about making money from TikTok but you don't have any followers? Well, forget the 1,000 follower rule. GFN Vault has just changed the game. AFTV and DR Sports have partnered with one of the biggest UK creators, Anthony Owo, to bring you GFN Vault.
Our agency helps you earn, grow, succeed with exclusive support. With 0 following, you can start earning straight away. No gimmicks, no catches, 100% free.
Every big creator started from nothing, including me. So why not you?
Whether that is football, gaming clips, or just chatting complete and utter rubbish, anyone can be a creator, just like me.
So hit the link right now, get involved, and start earning today with GFN Vault. Do not sleep on this. Yes, people have been running that ad for a while now. Get involved in that. If you are a creator and you want to create on TikTok, GFN Vault, it's real. Get involved right now. Big ways to how you guys can earn while you create. And that's what it's all about. You've got to be based in the UK. There's a link in the description. Get involved in that right now. But listen, good evening to you all. I hope that you're all doing well this Sunday. Lovely weather over here in England. Not the warmest, but it's just so good to see it so bright outside. You know what I mean? Like the clocks have gone forward. I hope that didn't catch you out this morning. And it's bright as anything out there. I love the English summertime. I absolutely love it. Because in the summertime, it doesn't get dark until later on, like 10 o'clock at night. And I absolutely love it, especially as a person who's always getting home late. So really, really good that the summertime is here. But big up to you all. Eid Mubarak, going out to everybody who's celebrating. I know it's Eid, big celebrations going on. I was chatting to my friend Khalid over in Dubai this morning, man. Big day for them. I said to him, don't eat too much, right? And he said, listen, I ain't promising you that at all. You deserve it, bro. Eid Mubarak going out to everybody out there who celebrates. And we're here for Sunday. And the big news that broke today was that Andrea Berta has finally signed. He's finally become Arsenal's new sporting director. So that's what we're going to focus on tonight. I want to hear from as many of you as possible. What I want to find out is who should he be signing, because I want to see a madness this summer. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I want to see. Just before I get into that, I want to big up the guys from CardCon. I was actually speaking today on CardCon, which is a card convention, which takes place, it took place in Farnborough. I was down there in Farnborough earlier. Really, really enjoyed it. I have to admit, I didn't know nothing about this card stuff until I was asked to speak on this convention. And I went along and I was opening packs of Arsenal cards. And it is incredible. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. I even got the, this is one of the cards that I opened today. They gave me this one. So let me just show you what I opened today. Well, I opened loads and loads of cards, but this was one of the ones I did. And big up to Adam and the guys down there. They really made me feel welcome. And I really, really enjoyed it. Let me just show you. So open the box. You can see in there, there's 3 cards, right? 3 Arsenal cards. I'm going to pull them out for you. There was this one, which is a signed Manuel Zinsberger card, which was... What was it? Oh, it hasn't got the extra number on it, but signed by Manuel Zinsberger. So that's a pretty exclusive one. I was really excited opening this up. There was this one, a signed Alexander Zinchenko one. So I thought that was really, really cool. What was that one? That was number 2. Number 2 card, right? So that was brilliant. And this one, which I really liked. Who's that? You know who that is? I get sneeze there. Hold on. About to sneeze. You know when you're about to sneeze? This is, but it's Charlie George, who scored in the FA Cup in 1971, 25 of 99, this one. But yeah, Charlie George, signed by Charlie George as well. And that was, I'm going to treasure these. And yeah, that card convention thing blew my mind, man. Like, the amount of money that these cards exchange for is crazy. So big up to the guys from Topps who gave me this. Boy, you ever heard anyone sneeze live and live in a live show? I must be allergic to the cards, but listen, no, thanks to the guys from Topps. Really, really appreciated that, and I'm gonna be keeping this. That card stuff is crazy. A card for Ethan Wanyeri, right? How much do you think that card's worth? Ethan Wanyeri. There's cards there for Ethan Wanyeri. How much do you? I'm going to give you a little quiz. So Ethan Wanyeri's card, how much do you think that's worth? And also Lamine Yamal, his card, number 1 card, how much do you think that's worth? So number 1 card, Ethan Wanyeri, how much do you think that's worth? Thank you very much, LFC Marlu. Bless you. That was a big sneeze, man. Right? And a card for Lamine Yamal, how much do you think that's worth? Right? Mohammed says £35. Yeah, bro. Which one forward? Wanyeri? Think again. Kamala, I think it means Lamal. Mohammed says 5K. Higher. Ryan says 2K. Which one for? Wanyeri or Lamar? I can tell you the Lamar one's worth higher, but it's higher. Right? Let me see. It's an auto 1-1. It'll be hundreds of thousands. Not that much. Not that much. Not yet. It's a good little test, this, isn't it? Mohammed again says 2.5 grand for Yamal. Ethan's is £100. Higher. Andrea says 10K. Lower. David, 8K. Nope, not as much as that. Not as much as 50K. Ethan, 8K says that you're getting close, but it's a bit lower than that. Goody Man says Yamal around about 3K. No. Right, keep guessing. Keep guessing. This is good. This is good. Wajeb, 7,500. If that's for the Lamal one, lower. Right? Lower. August 7, 5K. I can tell you, big up August 7, the Ethan Wanyeri one, I've been told is worth north of 5,000. So 5,000 is like the starting point. £5,000 for an Ethan Wanyeri card, right? Like, you know, number 1. Lamar's is more, right? Crazy. And there was a kid at the convention who got a pack, like similar sort of pack like this, but it was an Argentinian pack. Opened it. He got a Messi card, which was, I can't remember what number it was. And they claimed that card that he opened there, you know, that's worth minimum of about, I think they said that was worth a minimum about 25K. A little kid, the kid was about 12. It was absolutely unbelievable, right? I can tell you, listen, let me you know, because we can go on all night. Aston says Lamar 30K. Lamar, 20K, he says. Lamar's worth about 30K at the moment, right? And he's going to go up and up and up. This card stuff is crazy, right? But I really had a good time. Really, really enjoyed it. There you go. Jamsey said 5.5K Ethan. That's accurate. Fairly. Lamar's 6.8K. No. As I said, Lamar's card, 30K plus. Absolutely unbelievable. A card for Messi, they was telling me, I think it was a number 1 original card, sold for 5. Let me get the information on it, because I want to give you guys the accurate information. I know we sort of segue in a bit here, but I this card thing's mad. Right, let me Let me just get the information here that I was given. Yeah, a Wanyeri. That was 5Ks around about the ones I got, but there's also a one-of-one Wanyeri card that sold for £10,000 a few months ago. 10 grand for a card, right? Messi's World Cup Prism card, number 10, sold for £522,000. A card. So if you've got any Panini stickers or top stickers, don't throw those things away. They're worth a lot of money. I actually unpacked some cards from the Euros in 2004. And there was some. We found a Ronaldo card in that, which was a real gem, and also a Zlatan Ibrahimovic one, the early one. I don't know how much they're worth, but they're said to be worth a lot of money. So, yeah, no, I really had a lot of fun. So thanks to the guys at CardCon for having me. Big up to all the Arsenal fans I met down there, football fans I met down there. It was really, really good fun. Oh, this one here. Rossima says, Don, how much would a signed tie card be worth? Now, we were actually talking about that, right? So you never know. You could see that in the future. And James says, thoughts about us being linked to Stucken from Leverkusen. I'm not sure who that is. Pronounce that right? But anyway, Andreas Berta has now officially joined Arsenal, right? He's the new sporting director of Arsenal, taking over from Edu. It was announced this morning that he has now taken up his role at Arsenal. Let me just read you a little bit from the statement, if I can just quickly find that. And it said, we're delighted to announce that Andrea Berta is joining the club as sporting director. Andrea is a hugely respected figure in football and brings with him a wealth of knowledge and experience. He's worked in technical roles for the Italian sides, Cademanopo, Parma and Genoa, and most recently for Atletico Madrid. He spent 12 years at Atleti and played a major role in shaping the squads that won La Liga titles in 2013-14, 2020 and 2021, and the Europa League in 2018. They also won the Copa del Rey, the UEFA Super Cup, and the Super Copa España during his time at the club, as well as reaching 2 UEFA Champions League finals. And Andrea said himself, I am thrilled to be joining Arsenal in what is a hugely exciting period for the club. I've watched with great interest the way Arsenal have evolved in recent years, and I've admired the hard work that has gone into re-establishing the club as a major force in European football with a passionate following around the world. The club has great values and a rich history, and I'm looking forward to playing my part in shaping a successful future with a great team. I cannot wait to get started in my new role. I'm really looking forward to experiencing my first game at Emirates Stadium together with the supporters. Co-chair Josh Kroenke added, anyone who knows football knows that Andrea is an impressive figure. He has a vast knowledge of the game, a great track record and a strong network and an insatiable desire to build winning teams. Andrea is a great addition to our club. He understands our values and what we stand for, and we have no doubt he will help us to push and take the steps in our bid to win major trophies. We undertook a thorough recruitment process, and we're hugely impressed with the level of all the other candidates. But it was Andrea's experience and success he has enjoyed that stood out. We are really looking forward to working together and welcoming him into the Arsenal family. That's the statements. Those of them all there. Brilliant. Fantastic. But no, I got a couple of questions. Number one, why did it take so long? Why didn't they get him in January? Yeah. Why is he coming in March now? Could we have not got him in January? This whole process didn't start until January. Remember, it's not like he's someone that, you know, when I'm reading that statement through, it's not like somebody that they had their eye on for ages and they said, they say they had loads of candidates, right? Why didn't they do that process when Edu left? Why did it take until after the January transfer window for them to do that process? Maybe if Andrea Berta was in, we may have signed a striker. Maybe his experience would have been what we required to bring in, a signing, because it's a thing that I've been saying all along. The guys that were in charge at the time, Jason Ato and these guys, what's their experience? What's their, what's in their phone? What contacts have they got in their phone? Who have they ever dealt with before with regards to transfers that they can get on the phone and say, oh, we need a striker, even to give us a loan deal? Do they did they carry that type of gravitas that they could have got that sort of deal in? That's one thing that annoys me. I'm glad that Andrea Berta is here. Don't get me wrong. But why did it take so long to get this done? Tomorrow, or is the 31st of March, literally the end, 4 months nearly after the transfer window. Well, 3 months after the transfer window's closed. League's done, 12 points behind, and now we're bringing in the sporting director, obviously for the summer. I mean, it beggars belief in my books, but at least somebody is in. I don't want to take a little look at some of the let me take a look at 10 of the best signings that he's made. Obviously, you make signings, some of them go wrong, but these are. I was having a look at this. These are 10 of the signings that he's made, and one of the things that makes me happy is that he seems to like signing strikers, right? Because I don't know, for some reason, it didn't look like Edu liked signing strikers. It looked like Arteta liked signing strikers. This guy likes strikers, and he likes good ones. So let's take a look at some of them. Mario Mandzukic, 2014-15, he signed for Atletico Madrid. Remember, he was a decent striker. Julian Alvarez, as we know, signed last summer, big fee. It was Andrea Berta who's behind that, £82 million, so not scared to spend a few pence on a top striker, and he's been very, very good for them. So that was another great signing he made. Kieran Trippier, all right. You may look at that and think, all right, Tottenham player, but Trippier actually did all right for, Atletico. And for him to have the eye to go there and get that player, that was very good. He signed David Villa back in 2013. Top striker, he signed Marcos Llorente in 2019. He's still at the club at Llorente. Decent striker. Remember, they got him from Real Madrid for around about £35 million. Always been a decent striker. He signed Yannick Carrasco, top player. He signed him twice, as a matter of fact, because remember, Carrasco was there originally, I think, 2015 to 2018, and he returned from 2020 to 2023. Yannick Carrasco, good player. So that was another good signing. Luis Suarez is another player that he signed. So that, top world-class striker. Jan Oblak, the goalkeeper. Remember, we're going to need a goalkeeper this summer to back up David Raya. But Jan Oblak, many consider to be the best goalkeeper around, or definitely one of them. He signed Rodri, winner of the Ballon d'Or, of course, with Manchester City, but he signed him for Atletico Madrid, another top signing. And probably the best signing of all, a player that he signed twice, Antoine Griezmann, another fantastic signing. So, and he's got an eye for strikers, he's got an eye for forward players, and that is good to know, because that's what we need. That is what we need right now. We want to see a striker coming. And this summer, I want to see Arsenal do a madness. It's time for a transfer madness. And I want to see Andrea Berta bring us in an unbelievable striker. I want to see that, right? Because we've waited a long time for it. And now that he's in, I want to see that come to fruition. A top-class striker. No excuses no more. No excuses. No, I said this the other night. I don't really want to see a project striker. Or if a project striker comes in, he has to come in alongside a top-class striker. I really, really want to see some top signings. Now, when I say project striker, I look at somebody like Sesko as a project striker. If you look at his record over there in the Bundesliga, it's been okay. It's not to say that he can't come in and score a lot of goals, because I think he's got about 11 goals or something like that this season, which is not exactly ripping it up. But listen, when Alexander Isak came to Newcastle, he had a similar type of record. He wasn't ripping it up in La Liga, but boy, is he ripping it up now. But the problem with Arsenal, we can't afford to wait for Sesko to hopefully, if we get Sesko, to hopefully turn into the player that we want. We need somebody who's ready to go right now, like what he did by signing Julian Alvarez. He know that Julian Alvarez, looking at his goal-scoring record, looking what he's doing at City, realizing that he's only been held back because of Haaland, this guy, bring him in, lot of money, he's going to go and score goals straight away. And that's what he did. That's what he did. I want to see him do that at Arsenal. So I want him to go out and bring in a ready-made striker. The obvious one is Alexander Isak. We know that Arteta loves Alexander Isak, right? I think they've got the money to do it, but there's been rumours that Arsenal could have up to £300 million to spend this transfer window, especially if they were to go even further in the Champions League. Go and make a bid for Isak. Now, I think it's going to be really difficult to get Isak away. Liverpool are interested in him as well. Newcastle, you know, you saw their celebrations yesterday. They won the Carabao Cup. They're ambitious. They want to go bigger. They want to get into the Champions League. So that's not an easy deal to get done. But if you don't get Isak, Gyökeres. Proven goal-scoring record, 26 years of age. Go and get him. Or Osimhen or somebody like that who's already proven it over quite a period of time that they score goals week in, week out. That's what I want to see. I'm hoping that he's not going to be, you know, because listen, we've been hearing about Sesko since, for instance, since last season, yeah? As I said, a project signing, 21 years of age, come in, prospect. Very similar. It reminds you a little bit like the Rasmus Højlund thing, what United signed. But you can see that sometimes that's a lot of pressure on a very young player to come in and expect him to come and score 20, 25 goals. I'm hoping that he's not swayed by whatever plans Arsenal had previously, and he's coming in with his own ideas when it comes to making that forward signing. I really, really hope so. And that he's not just, you know, picking up the reins of all the targets that Arsenal have been looking at already. There's been rumours that the Zubimendi one, he's like right behind that. All right, fair enough. Zubimendi's been playing over there in Spain. He'll know Zubimendi. He would have seen him on a regular basis. So I'm cool with that. But that striker position, we need someone who's going to bring them goals right now. And I know what you guys think. I love to hear from you guys. But that's my opinion. Let me get into a couple of super chats. Congratulations on the news, my fellow Gooner, says the Gooner Cannon 29. So that's good. Amrish says, name dropping BERTA'S signings doesn't mean anything. Not every top player works well with every manager. Relationship between director and coach is key. Now, you are right. You are right. But listen, if you're bringing in somebody, I am going to name drop some of the signings he's made. He's also signed João Felix. Didn't work out at Atletico, but it was an ambitious signing at the time. Really ambitious signing. One of the most sought-after players in the world at the time, and Atletico got him. That's the type of signings I want to see at Arsenal. Not a signing that's not going to work, obviously, but that's the type of signing I want to see in at Arsenal. So, you know, yeah. Jimbo says, Henry, Bergkamp, Van Persie were not big names before Arsenal. Now, you're 100% right, Jimbo. But right now, you look at that Arsenal team, Everything's in place. Great defense, great goalkeeper, great defense, great midfield, especially if you add in a Zubimendi. Attack, there's some greatness in it in Saka, but it needs a world-class striker. Have we got time if we want to win the league? I think Mikel Arteta's under big pressure to try and win that league next year or to win a trophy. Are you going to do that with the attack we've got? The answer is no. We've had the last 3 seasons of that attack and it hasn't done it. And I don't think it's time for a project in that position unless you bought in Sesko and I'm just using Sesko as an example, but unless you bought him and another in as a striker. And are they going to do that if, with the money that's available? Said to be 300 million? Possibly, but I'm sure they're looking at other positions. So, and Bergkamp, by the way, was a big name. Bergkamp was a big name when he came in. Goofy Man says, Isak, Williams, and Zubimendi. If that's what we do in the summer, this guy is a happy man. Yeah, I'll be living life if those are the signings. I'd be super excited for the next season. Difficult to do all those, but we've got to do a madness. That's the sort of thing, if I saw those signings where I might say, all right, we didn't buy no one in January. Still upset about that. We let the season go, but those are quality signings. Deco Dan says, pure waffle, 300 million. But that's the rumor. I'm not saying it's 300 million. That's the rumor at the moment. Keith Young says, Robbie, I think there's a probability that Sesko has a higher ceiling than Isak. Only if he fulfills it. This higher ceiling thing, I get it, right? It's Sesko, he's 21. So if he comes in and it works, the ceiling is high. And you got a player at 21, the value stays there, all of those things. Brilliant. What if it don't work? What if it's too much pressure on his shoulders? Look at Rasmus Højlund. That's what I keep thinking about every time I think about Sesko. Rasmus Højlund, big reputation, bought into Manchester United, goal scoring record at Atalanta. It was all right. You know what I mean? He hadn't scored 20 goals, not bad. Bought in and basically at Manchester United told to go and score 20 plus goals in the Premier League. A league he's not played in before, a league he's got to learn. And I think Rasmus Højlund, as bad as he's looked this season, there's obviously a player in there. They paid £65 million for him. There's obviously a player in there waiting to flourish. But to throw him in right away and say, give me those 25 goals, he ain't going to do it. He ain't going to do it, or he's going to find it really difficult. So this is my worry with Sesko. It's like, of course you're a good prospect, but we need someone who's going to come in and hit the ground running now. And the fans are very restless on the striker thing. And I don't think the fans would have patience if, say, Rasmus Højlund came in his first season and, say, scored 10 goals. That's my worry. That's why I want to see like someone who's going to come in and hit the ground running straight away. Ishi says, Robbie, can you wish us Eid Mubarak? I did right at the start of the show, but I will wish it to you again. Eid Mubarak. I'm going out to you, as I said right at the start of the show. I said to my mate, Khalid, easy on the food, right, today. And he said, Robbie, no guarantees on that at all, right? And I remember last year, actually, like I was over in Dubai and he was doing, obviously Ramadan. And I was like, I feel so sorry for you, man. You can't eat nothing, blah, blah, blah. But then when I saw the amount of food they were eating when the fast was broken, I was like, actually, I'm going to have to reassess that. Oh, you like eating a lot of food after this fast, But no, big up to everybody. And I hope you have a great time with it. Some of my staff there that I know they're having a great day today of it as well. So big up to all of them. Eid Mubarak. So big up to you guys. in response there, Invisible Wall 19 says, Jimbo, will you apologize if Sesko doesn't bang? Probably not. I think we got, I want to see, ready-made. In Berta we trust, says Boston. Yeah? Well, I need to see something first. I'll tell you about that after the summer. Because I was starting to trust Edu. I was like, yeah, actually. But he's gone now. And we didn't get that striker in. So it's a big, big job for Andreas Berta this summer. It really is. Ezra says, Wirtz, Rodrigo, and Gyökeres. Would you argue with that? Rodrigo, do we need Rodrigo? It's going to sound weird. Yeah? But come back to me on this one. Ezra, do we need Rodrigo? And the reason why I'm saying that, and it's going to sound a bit strange, is obviously Rodrigo plays mainly on that right-hand side, right? And, Rodrigo, absolute quality player, but we got Saka there. So, and then we got Ethan Nwaneri coming through, and I don't want to stop his growth. So, the fact that he plays over mainly predominantly on the right-hand side, I don't think we need Rodrigo. I think we need more of a left winger. That's really what I'd like to see. By the way, I'm going to mention this. I'm just seeing this right now. So this is from David Ornstein. This was posted about a minute ago on David Ornstein's X page. It says Arsenal are developing a strong interest in Victor Gyökeres as a possible striker signing. Andrea Berta, firm admirer of the 26-year-old forward, expected to figure prominently among Arsenal's options and maybe more realistic than Isak. And he credits Gunner Blog and The Athletic as well, from The Athletic, which also David Ornstein works for. And big up to David Ornstein for winning that award. I was chatting to him on Monday. We was chatting a lot about Arsenal, actually, and transfers. But that is interesting. That's the type of thing I want to hear. Victor Gyökeres. Once again, people, David Ornstein has posted that about a couple of minutes ago. Arsenal developing a strong interest in Victor Gyökeres as a possible striker signing. Andrea Berta, firm admirer of the 26-year-old forward from Sporting, expected to figure prominently among Arsenal's options and maybe more realistic than Isak. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I want to see from this Berta brother. If that's the type of thing I'm seeing, yeah, then I'm going to start feeling, that's what we need to see. That's what we need to see, right? Yeah, Ornstein with it. That's what I want to see. So you guys are saying, look at Ornstein. Yeah, so he's just broken that. I just read it there. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of that? I want to find out from you guys right now. What do you think of that? That's, yeah. All right, yeah, okay, this guy's right. Chelsea says, Robbie, let's not get gassed at PR for now, though. Yeah, it's probably sensible. But listen, let's just get gassed for a minute. What do you guys think of that? If it was Victor Gyökeres who came in this summer, would you be happy with that? Billy says, Liss, Isak, Gyökeres, Osimhen in that order. I think the thing is, right, is that Isak, really, really difficult deal to get done. Newcastle, as I said, you saw yesterday their parade. They will not want to let Alexander Isak go. If they get into the Champions League, I don't think they'll let him go. I don't think there'll be any chance that they let him go if they get into the Champions League. He's got a long contract at Newcastle. They're got the richest owners in the world. They're owned by the Saudis, of course. And, I just think it would be so difficult to get done. I think I think the only way that deal would get done in the summer would have to be Isak would have to throw his toys out of the pram and say, I want to move, I want to move, I want to move. And even then, they could hold on to him. I think it's a tricky one to get done. Victor Gyökeres, on the other hand, is definitely doable. Victor Gyökeres is obviously he's going to leave Sporting this summer. He's going to have a lot of options where he wants to go. But listen, having played in the Championship, I'm sure that the Premier League's going to appeal to him. He may want to go to a Man United, but can Manchester United afford him this summer? Of course, may want to go to Man United to play under Ruben Amorim, but could they afford him this summer? Liverpool might be interested in him if they couldn't, say, for instance, get Isak. And then there's an Arsenal, and then he'll have other options. There'll be, listen, his goal-scoring record's been unbelievable. There'll be a lot of clubs interested in him. But what do you guys think of that? I mean, that's big news. I mean, I know, that guy's right. We can't go over the top, and we can't get too gassy. It's just a rumor at the moment. But, that's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Bobby says, welcome back to the dark side, Robbie. Dodd Robbie, holding the club to account and setting high standards for the club again. Well, listen, they have to. This summer, they have to. Kusta with a super chat says, I love Turkish and all of his tribe, but bringing in Berta with his proven record, we all should be excited. For once, let's be excited and forget about the past. Bring on Gyökeres. Honestly, that when you see stuff like that, I can see the vibe of the fans there saying, fantastic news. Goofy man. Z, top player. Right? There's a lot of people be really up for this. He's overrated, says Tony, snooker fan. Let me, you know what? You're saying he's overrated. Listen, we don't know. Portuguese league, no disrespect. I remember the last time I said this, like, some people were getting at me. Portuguese league, some great teams. Be careful for framing this up, right? Because I remember last time some fans were getting at me. Some great teams in the Portuguese league. Sporting, Benfica, Porto, top sides, European pedigree, great sides. You look at the rest of the league, it doesn't compare to the Premier League, a standard of teams stacked with internationals in the Premier League. It's a different level, let's face it. But this guy's goal-scoring record has been a phenomenon. You know what I mean? And I think he would score goals. I watched him, up close when we played against them. And he looks a top player. And he's a goal scorer. He's got a goal scoring record. Jumbo says Gyökeres looks lost against low blocks. That's my only concern. Does he? When you see his goal scoring record, I don't know if you can say that. Billy says, Robbie, if you have a choice between 70 million for Gyökeres and 50 million for Williams or Isak for 120 million, who would you pick? It's a tough one. We just asked this question the other night. I'll probably go Isak, just because he's ready-made. We know he'd be ready to go right now. So probably, yeah, I'll probably go with that. But either of those options would be nice. I'd be up for those. But Robbie, how different is Gyökeres compared to Sesko other than age? As both are going to be asked to score 15 plus goals a season and both haven't played in a big league. So we need someone proven. But the goal scoring record of Gyökeres is exceptional. And he's not like a one-off. He's done it for a couple of seasons now over there in Portugal. And those goals have helped, help them to win the league. I think, that goal-scoring record cannot be ignored. It really can't. Let me see if I can get the record up. Bear with me a second. It's just me on my own tonight. Gyökeres. So let me get the 1 second. Please bear with me a second. Right. This season, and I know he's had some injuries, but this season in the league, Victor Gyökeres, 26 games, 30 goals. That is outstanding. That's outstanding. 6 goals in the Champions League. I mean, it's an outstanding record. You know, an outstanding record. It's a no-brainer for me. It's a no-brainer for me. 6 assists as well. But 30 goals in the league. That is a striker. When was the last time we had someone who scored 30 goals? Probably at Van Persie. You know, when was the last time we had someone who scored 20 goals? I think it was Aubameyang. That's what, right now, that is what's required at Arsenal. We need a goal scorer. We need someone that is going to put away some of these chances. 51 goals in 48 games is overrated. What is that dude smoking? I mean, it's an unbelievable record. Got to take the league into account a little bit. But as I said, I'm looking at, again, at 26 appearances, 30 goals, 7 assists, actually, is what Transfer Market are saying. And remember, last season, he was the top goal scorer in Europe. So it's 2 years in a row. Can't argue with that. Can't argue with that. Joel says, Bunny sack. Man, it's too expensive. Listen, if it's going to be too expensive and unrealistic, then you move for the next option. And Gyökeres, you know, by the way, there's just checking his age. Victor Gyökeres, 26, turns 27 in June. That's a decent age. That's an age of someone in their prime. It's the age of someone in their prime. Harry Kane's 30. I think he might even be a bit older now. 31. He's banging in the goals. I was watching them play yesterday against St. Pauli, Bayern. Banging in the goals, Harry Kane. Still 30. You think Bayern are complaining about his age right now? Lewandowski's 36. Banging in the goals. You know? How old's Mo Salah? 32, 33. Top goal scorer in the Premier League this season. Mo Salah. Age? He's only 26. Going to be 27 by, if we was to go in and buy him. Perfect. Doesn't have to be a 21-year-old. Not every signing has to be just purely an investment, as Chelsea are finding out at the moment. You've got to have a player with a bit of experience, a bit about him. He's been there, he's done that, he's been around the block, he knows how to score goals. And don't tell me that he wouldn't be excited to be in the Premier League and be scoring goals. I mean, all day long, I'd be happy for that signing. TMAT1231 says, would this goal scoring record translate to Arsenal? Remember, Sporting creates a lot compared to us. We don't. He has 110 shots and scored 30. With our system, we won't create some. I do think we will create. If you've got that focal point. I mean, Arsenal create a lot of chances. We score a lot of goals as well. Think of it this way, TMAT1231, right? I want you to think of it differently. Arsenal this season have drawn 10 games. 10 draws. Imagine if we converted even half of those into wins. Even half of them into wins if you've got a proper goal scorer on the pitch. And the reason why it's important to have a proper goal scorer is sometimes you get games and those games are tight, yeah? You may only get 1 or 2 chances. And if you don't take them, ends up in a draw. We've got a great defense. We don't concede a lot of goals, but we're not clinical enough up front. And I think that this guy, I think he could be somebody who could be clinical for us. So I'll be happy with that. Jerry says, Gyökeres, 70 million, 50 million on a winger, or 120 million. I think I did that one already, didn't I? So I like this one. African Theory TV says, Robbie, how do you think winning the Champions League would affect our business and the team going forward? Well, it'd be you win the Champions League is an absolute game changer, isn't it? Like, number one, prize money and all that. You know, you can go even bigger. Number two, it helps you to attract more players. Number three, it's just like all round perfect, you know? So yeah. All right, this guy's bringing me back down to earth. Chelsea says Nunes scored 30 once, bro. He did. And Nunes has he has flopped. He has flopped. But Gyökeres has done it 2 seasons in a row. And anybody you sign, right? He says, and he goes on to say that Gyökeres has been more consistent. Anyone you sign is going to be a risk, even with a proven track record. Remember Fernando Torres smashing it at Liverpool. Chelsea went in big, bought him, couldn't hit a barn door. It can happen. But at least go out there and try. Try to bring in a clinical striker that's going to score goals. And if this is what this guy Berta does, I will be very, very happy. So, you know, we need a goal scorer. Simple as that. You know? That's so important. The one and only says, to be honest, we will not get a number 10. We need many other players for other positions, and the number 10 will be really expensive too. I want us to get 2 wingers, 1 striker, 2 midfielders, 1 goalie. Arsenal should have a lot of money to spend this summer. They haven't bought no one in January. They didn't even, if you think about last summer, they sold a lot of players, you know, Smith Rowe and players like that were Eddie and Nketiah, right? And what did they bring in? Mikel Merino, permanent deal for Raya, and Calafiori. It was a loan for Raheem Sterling. They got money to spend this summer. They have money to spend. They were looking to put 60, 70 million pound bids in January for Ollie Watkins. Money is going to be there. Money is going to be there. Prize money they're going to get this season for where they finish. The money's there. They've got to go out there and do the business. Turkish is in the chat. Turkish, big up to Turkish. He says, Gyökeres has been banging in goals for 2 to 3 years now. Why are people downplaying it? FFS. Nunes, very weak comparison. I've got to agree with Turkish. Listen, we don't agree on a lot, but on this, I agree with him. Gyökeres has been doing it for the last couple seasons. All right, it's the Portuguese league. But for me, you know, these are significant goals that have taken, you know, Sporting, who up until then hadn't won a league title it's very, very similar to Arsenal in 20 plus years, and took them to win the league. And I think if I'm right, I'm sure they're top of the league again this season. Gyökeres would be a good signing. I remember when we played them, I know we beat them very soundly, Sporting, but I remember watching him, and you can see a guy's got an eye for goal. You know what I mean? He's looking to get shots off. He's not looking to pass every minute. You know, he was stifled in that game, but yeah, I would love to see Victor Gyökeres. You know, I would love to see him. I would love to see him at Arsenal. And if these rumors are true, and it's just rumors at the moment, you know, despite David Ornstein saying it's a rumor, that would be unbelievable. That's the type of business that we want to see Andrea Berta doing. And as I said, he's got an eye for a striker. He's signed a lot of strikers in his time. And that's what we need, because we seem to have people who don't want to sign strikers. So at least get someone in who wants them. And actually, I remember Turkish saying the other day, and another thing I agreed with was, he's like, why not get Victor Gyökeres and Jonathan David? Get the 2 of them. You know, firm up in that area. You know? Untouchable says, why is Gyökeres a lock to score 20 goals? It took him till 26 years of age to do it in the Portuguese league. Listen, there's players that peak at different times. Did Isak score the amount of goals he scored this season? He's around the same age. Did he score that before? players peak at different times. You know, I would take him. It's a risk. Signings are risks. But that's a calculated good risk because of his goal-scoring record. Vortex Fair says, Robbie, I think Gyökeres deal should be to take care with. Remember the Pepe deal. Many goals where most were penalties. Gyökeres in the league this season has 12 penalty goals out of 30. But they're goals. Haaland scores penalties. He actually missed one today. Right? He actually missed one today. Harry Kane scores a lot of penalties. They're goal scorers. They're goal scorers. So they want all the goals. They want all the penalties. They want. I love that. That's what we've lacked. Soka Don TV says, people forget Gyökeres banged in 21 goals for Coventry in the Championship. Proven goal scorer. We know it's a Championship. We know it's not the same standard as the Premier League, obviously. But let's just have a think about some players that were regular goal scorers in the Championship that have transitioned to the Premier League and are doing really, really well, or have done really, really well. You know, Mitrovic, Fulham, scored loads of goals in the Championship, came into the Premier League, scored loads of goals there, did really, really well over in Saudi now. You know, Ollie Watkins in the Championship, scored goals there, transferred that into the Premier League with Brentford and now also at Aston Villa. You know, Ivan Toney, banging them in the Championship, comes into the Premier League, replicates it there. Just because he only scored those in the Championship. I mean, it's a great breeding ground. The Championship toughens you up, gets you ready sometimes for the Premier League. So, yeah, he's been scoring goals consistently, 20 plus now for a few seasons. Devlin says, hi, Robbie. Gyökeres is a no-brainer and sign Hugo Ekitike. Quality strikers right there in January. Sell Jesus and Havertz. Bring in Gula, Keenan Yildiz from Juventus and sell Trossard. Jesus, you're not going to be able to sell because he's injured and he's going to be out until... You know, there's no way you can sell him in the summer because he's going to be out until what? At least Christmas, you know, or longer. So you're not going to be able to sell him. I don't think he'll sell Havertz. I don't think he should sell Havertz. I think, you know, you keep Havertz. You got Gyökeres there. Havertz can be the sort of backup to him in that position. Maybe that takes some of the pressure off of Havertz and we appreciate him a bit more because we're not expecting him to score 20 plus goals. And, you know, I'd be happy with that. KMTV says Delap. It's done okay. Delap's done well for his first season. But Gyökeres, for me, still, Gyökeres has played in the Champions League. Gyökeres has played in the Europa League. Again, Delap is a project. Not saying that, you know, he's not a good player. He's a very good player. But he's a project. He's a project. Don't know if he's going to score 20. And we need 20. We need that guy that's going to come in and take us to the next level when it comes to goal scoring. I want to see when Saka's supplying, putting those... How many times this season you see Saka whip a ball into the box? There's absolutely nobody there. No one busting a gut to get on the ends of it. You know why? Because they're not strikers. They're all hanging back on the edge of the box and stuff like that. And this guy says, even as a Man United fan, I'm not going to lie. A striker like Gyökeres will take you guys to the next level. You also got to buy someone like Mbeumo to compete with Saka and a midfield like Baleba, then a guy, then you can win the Prem. I wouldn't buy... I love Mbeumo. And at the start of the season, I would have bought him, but Ethan Nwaneri's done so well that for me, I would concentrate on... unless Mbeumo can play on the other side, I would concentrate on, you know, bringing in somebody who plays over on that left wing. And Mbeumo's more right. But I don't know, maybe if you could play the left as well, quality player. To me, 70 for Gyökeres and 50 for Williams is better than spending 120 on Isak. That would be very good business for the team. Okay. Thank you, by the way, for all of the messages coming in today. You guys have been going crazy with it today. Absolutely love it. Ma says Gyökeres is young and ready to hit the heights. I agree. I agree with that. Omar says 5 years and not a single striker has shined under Arteta. So what gives you hope that these world-class strikers will make a difference for you? Well, let's see. And none of those strikers that have been under him have been world-class, apart from Aubameyang. And Aubameyang did shine. It was a discipline thing. Aubameyang came in. This is what I'm saying when you bring in a goal scorer of a proven, like, that's what they do. He came in January, scored goals. The next season, scored goals. Won the FA Cup under Aubameyang. I know why he had to go, because of discipline records. We've not had a proper striker since. Gyökeres is a proper striker. And that's why I would like to see him come in, you know? The one and only says, Robbie, we got to remember that we have Max Dowman coming in. I know we really want Wirtz, but I don't know if it's what Max Dowman's still 15. Let's give this kid time to develop. Yeah, he looks an unbelievable prospect. I've seen some of the clips. He looks brilliant, but we got to slow down a bit on Max Dowman because, you know, he's not played with the big boys yet. And, you know, that level of football compared to playing in the Premier League is a big step up. Not to say he can't make it, but we don't know yet. So let's just slow down a little bit with it. Ride 2896. Robbie, would you take Kudus from West Ham? As he can play in various positions, right wing, left wing, number 10, on the number 8. I like Kudus. Not had the greatest of seasons, but I do like him. It depends how much. Listen, I think there's more priorities before Kudus, but I do like him. He was, when they played against us and when they beat us at the Emirates, he was an absolute handful. HD says, Vlahovic, not good. Stats are subpar. Of course, that was a player that we were looking at previously. Jerish says, do you think Berta will scrap the signings Arsenal have laid the groundwork for this summer? Maybe not scrap those, but, you know, I think there's going to be some signings or some players there that Arsenal are looking at that he'll know about. So he'll know about Nico Williams because he's coming from that league. He sees Nico Williams week in, week out. So he's going to have a better view on Nico Williams and whether he thinks Nico Williams is going to be good for Arsenal and will transfer what he's been doing for the Spanish national team to Arsenal. He's also going to know a lot about Zubimendi. Again, Zubimendi's been playing over there in La Liga. He would have seen Zubimendi over the years, not just recently, but over the years and his growth playing for, you know, Real Sociedad. So I don't think he's going to scrap those plans. But he might have his own ideas. He might have other targets. He might have other players. And I really do hope that he comes in with his own vision. And it's not just a complete continuation. I think there does need to be some continuity where he's like, you know, because it's got to be him and the manager agreeing on some targets. But I want him to have like his targets as well, where he might be looking at and thinking, all right, well, Nico Williams is great, but there's also this guy who's as good. So let's look at the both of them. I really hope he does that. So, you know, but I just think it's good that we've got a proper director of football in, you know, we needed that so badly. So I just think that, you know, we got that because we really, really need that. And I just think it's good news that he's coming in. Really, really good news. And if these rumors are true, that's perfect. Let me just read it to you again. It was a bit of breaking news, you could say, that's come in whilst the show's been going on. And it's David Ornstein saying that Arsenal developing a strong interest in Victor Gyökeres as a possible striker signing. Andrea Berta, firm admirer of the 26-year-old Sporting CP forward, expected to figure prominently among Arsenal's options and maybe more realistic than Alexander Isak. Could be just rumors, could be just talk, could be just a lot of spin because Andrea Berta's come in. We're going to get to find out in the summer. Guys, thank you very much for joining me today. Really enjoyed the stream. Don't forget, we're back tomorrow. We're here every day at 7 p.m. BERTA'S Premier League show at 7 tomorrow. And we're here every single day at 7 p.m. So make sure you check us out. So thank you very much for joining us. And check out all of our shows that we got going on at the moment here on AFTV. But yeah, good news. We finally brought in a sporting director. Now, Andrea Berta, do our madness. Get us some big signings.
Listen up. You're watching TikToks all day anyway, so why not get paid for it? Ever thought about making money from TikTok but you don't have any followers? Well, forget the 1,000 follower rule. GFN Vault has just changed the game. AFTV and DR Sports have partnered with one of the biggest UK creators, Anthony Owo, to bring you GFN Vault.
Our agency helps you earn, grow, succeed with exclusive support. With 0 following, you can start earning straight away. No gimmicks, no catches, 100% free.
Every big creator started from nothing, including me. So why not you?
Whether that is football, gaming clips, or just chatting complete and utter rubbish, anyone can be a creator, just like me.
So hit the link right now, get involved, and start earning today with GFN Vault. Do not sleep on this.